So it's October, you may have noticed, and it's time for one of the last TBR spins of 2023, which is crazy to think about. Like the fact that this is my current stack, just 3 books, which makes me feel like, okay, I should have a good idea of what I'm going to read, but also I feel like it's more likely that we'll have to choose from the larger TBR if one of these doesn't fit the prompt that we end up getting. But if you don't know, TBR Spin is a year-long readathon that is hosted by me and Jill from the Book Bully, where at the beginning of the year we chose 12 books, or whichever month that you start, pick that number of months that are left in the year, and that's your stack. And then on the first of every month, we spin the wheel, we get a prompt, and then we use that prompt to choose one of the books from the stack, usually, but sometimes that does lead to books from your larger TBR, and then you swap, which happens, especially as we're getting closer to the end here and there are less books on your stack in general. So before we spin the wheel, I just wanted to talk through the books that I read for the past 2 months. So 2 months ago, the prompt was to read a book whose main character is different than you, and so I went with The Plotters by Unsoo Kim. It's translated from Korean by Sora Kim Russell. So this is a book about Ressing, who is a hitman, and basically the plotters are the people that tell him exactly what to do, like note for note how to kill the person, like what method of death, how to get rid of the body, all of that stuff. It was definitely a fun book to read, and it had these like larger questions about who should be in charge, and I think crime in general, or not even necessarily crime, but systems that are built off of maybe not so great things like hitmen and like taking out specific people for whatever purpose. But then this idea of if you take out one organization, like will another just pop up in its place? How do you really take it down and take it apart so that nobody else can fill that space? Overall, it was a good read. I would recommend it. If I had to give it like a star rating, I would say like a 3 out of 5. And then last month, the prompt was on Jill's channel because we alternate who has the prompt. And so that prompt for last month was to read a book that was based off of a real person. So I went with Johnny Tremain. There are people in here, Sam Adams, John Hancock, and Paul Revere, that are of course real people. So this is a book that for a long time was commonly given to, I think, like middle school aged kids to read and to kind of connect more with the happenings at the time. And by happenings, I mean the Boston Tea Party and the Battle of Lexington. Johnny is a silver worker at the beginning of the book, but then through some accident ends up hurting his hand to the point where he can't be a silversmith anymore. So then he tries to kind of go a different route and then winds up kind of being a much larger part of America's history. I am currently working on my Ted Lasso season 2 video, and this is one of the books that is mentioned in that. So happy to finally get a start on that. As for how I liked it, it was okay. There was plenty happening the whole time, but it didn't really feel like it was doing anything special. I think it accomplishes the goal of getting us to like connect with a kid coming up during this time. But besides that, you know, it does what it says it's gonna do. Okay, with that, let's spin the wheel. All right, here we go. Okay, I thought it was going to be a nonfiction book. I don't have one on my stack. A book set in a small community, farm, village, small town, etc. I actually have no idea. Okay, so this one's set on an island, but it's just the people I think that are a part of the book that are on the island, and it's not their community. They're traveling there, I believe. Yeah, but I mean, what's a community, right? If not a group of people. So I think that one's a possibility, and I won't lie to you, I do kind of want it to be that one or this one just because it's October now and I want to read like something more thriller mystery. I don't know where Finley Donovan lives. Okay, at the very least, it doesn't seem like that's the intent. And then this one, it's entirely possible that it's set in a small town, but I can't tell based off the synopsis. So I'm just gonna go with Reckless Girls, because I think that this will be a fun read for October. And as a reminder, if you don't have a book that is set in a small community, then just grab one from your larger TBR that does fit the prompt, and then just be sure to remove one of the books that is on your current stack so that you are down to 2 going into November. As for me, I'm going to be reading Reckless Girls, but make sure to tell me what you are going to be reading either in the comments or there's also a Storygraph challenge and a Discord server that will be linked in the description. So you can also go there and let me know. And if you're interested in seeing my full TBR for October, that should be going up tomorrow. See you then.